Hello there. So, welcome again. Pull up a cuppa, and I'm June. Oh, don't know what's gone funny with my where I'm pointing today. Right. What have I been up to? I hope everyone's had a good weekend up to now. Nice Saturday. Maybe you've watched the rugby. It's been the Six Nations. Two absolutely spectacular matches. You couldn't fault them. Absolutely could have gone either way. Second match, the Scotland-England, was a lot closer than the Ireland-Wales, but they were both spectacular. So, this evening's cuppa. It's a white tea, as I said. I haven't looked as to how it's classified as white, but it's a white tea, and it's in a happy Christmas mug. And who says we can only use the Christmas mugs at Christmas? Plenty times to use them. So, drinking whatever colourful cuppa makes you happy. So, as regulars will know, I don't plan what I'm going to talk about, which is why a lot of the times I appear to be quite maybe hesitant over what I'm going to say or stumbling. It's only because I don't know what I'm going to say. Nothing's been rehearsed. So I think I'll talk about one thing I did today, which is when I still don't quite understand, is CVs. I've been doing an update of a CV. And I hate it. I don't know what other people feel about CVs. How do you feel about writing a CV? Do you like writing about yourself? So you put on your previous work experience, and there's always something you'll forget, especially if you've done voluntary work or maybe it's a couple of one-off things, and then you go on to education. Well, I've got my master's degree. I had to remember to put it backwards. So I put my master's degree, then my undergrad degree, my BTEC. Now, they were all one after another. That's fine. And then go back a number of years to 1984 when I did O-levels. And it was so funny to just see this huge gap in the middle. I'm like, oh, yeah. But I could still remember what I got. I don't have my original certificates anymore, but I know what I got. And I even put down my CSE grade 1 in home economics. I think I put it down as that. I don't think it was classed as domestic science. I think it was home economics. There's nothing sciencey about what I did. I made a few. I think I made a 3-course meal and a cake. Oh, and some homemade lemonade. It was very, very simple. Very, very simple meal. And then you've got to start putting down your skills. And you think, well, what have I learned through these jobs? And how do I write them? So I think if you've done a manual job, you can go, oh, yes, I know that I can weld, or I'm a plasterer, but with a lot of other jobs, it's how do you actually classify the skills so that future employers are going to be able to read it carefully and no, not read it carefully, read it coherently. How's it going to be presented right? So I'm doing this because I'm about to go on a course, like a back to employability course, to help me become employable. So that's what I'm doing. So the big thing is a CV, because this course I've got to go with a CV. And obviously, it's not going to be the same CV as when I finish, because you know fine well they're going to show me how to put it down properly. And apparently, I'm supposed to put like a tiny little about me summary personal statement-y bit in it. And I'm like, oh no. The last time I did a personal statement, I think, was when I applied for my degrees. And that's a totally different sort, because you're writing about your personal statement in relation to your degree. Well, this is a lot more open-ended. So I'm looking forward to maybe coming out with a more rounded CV than I do at the minute. It looks a bit flat, not round. So I think that's going to be good. But I am so flummoxed by CVs. I remember in the late 80s and 90s when people were encouraged to do their CV to make them stand out. And to make yourself stand out, you were supposed to be creative with your CV. And you had people putting pictures and doing it on different papers and experimenting with different layouts to try and, because you're trying to catch the employer's eye with your creative side. And I think that's all been stripped back now to like, no, we need it to be functional. I just think some of the stuff back then was, how can we make it look like, one, I know how to do this, and two, I want to put it on blue paper, or I want to print it onto the back of wallpaper. You know, it was mad. It was absolutely mad. So I think the question I'm going to leave you with is, as I said at the beginning, do you like doing your CV? If you do, what's your number one tip for a CV? Because I'll come back next week. I will talk about my CV. Next Saturday night, I will plan to talk about my CV. So let's see if I remember that. So have you got a good tip for CV? And how important do you think, if you're an employer, what do you look for in somebody's CV? I'm really interested to see just, yeah, just what catches your eye. So I'm going to go finish the last of this cuppa. Oh, look at the little dirty ring on the top. My tea's been sitting there. What's your number one tip for CVs? That's my rant, because I don't like them. Really don't. Necessity? They're getting back into the workplace. And gone are the days of printing them off and handing them out in shops. It's got to look good in an email. So remember, when you are attaching your CV, make sure it's titled something proper. And anyway, take care, everybody.